Back everyone. The Samsung Galaxy Note 9 came out a couple of years ago, and although it's not supported with software anymore, I still want to take a look at it because it's such a monumental and one of the most beautiful phones Samsung has ever made. Now, I've already done an early 2021 review of this thing. Not a crazy amount has changed. I'm still getting updates for this device, which is pretty interesting. As you can see, a software update is available, but I'm totally cool with that, and I think that's a great thing. Now, on the front of this phone, we still have that massive, beautiful 6.4-inch 1440p Super AMOLED panel, and as I mentioned before, this is one of the best looking panels Samsung made at this time. I think it's been surpassed with like the S21 Ultra and those type of phones, but this is still a very good panel. And with the Note 8, that was a pretty big redesign. This one kind of recycled the same design. You have the curved glass on the sides, power button on the side as well. Nothing up top, the micro SD card slot on this phone as well, which is crazy. USB Type-C port on this phone, headphone jack like I mentioned, but you also get that S Pen, which is crazy cool. I love having this S Pen. I mean, it's literally just like I mentioned, like it's like a stylus, but you have so much more capability. And it's weird because Samsung has pretty much stopped making the Note series, but they still sell the S Pen for the S21 Ultras. But this is a cool feature. I love this feature a lot. I wish they kept making the Note lineup, but there's nothing we can really do about it. I totally understand why they don't do it anymore. It's not really super thick anymore either. It's a pretty good sized phone. You have that standard glass back on the back of it, which still looks very good. You have wireless charging, you have a fingerprint sensor right here, and you have a dual camera setup, which still looks very good. I've talked a lot about how the Note 9, from the Note 10, it was kind of a downgrade in my opinion, but I think the Note 20 Ultra was a really good phone. And with the Note 9, I really get Note 20 Ultra vibes from this thing. I don't really get Note 10 vibes from it, maybe like Note 10 Plus, but the Note 20 Ultra is a beautiful phone. The camera quality on this thing isn't crazy good anymore. You can do 4K at 60 on the back. You can't really do 4K at 60 on the front, which is one of the bigger downgrades, but I think it's totally okay. The camera quality still works, that telephoto and wide angle lens is great, but again, it's not really as capable as something like the S21 Ultra or one of the newer ones, but still a very good sensor for sure. Now, performance-wise, this is one of the best things about this phone at that time, and it still is kind of impressive. You have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset, and this phone starts off with 6 gigs of RAM, but it does go up to 8 gigs of RAM, which is very interesting. We don't really see that on a lot of these types of phones from like this type of year. And I do think this is a very good performing phone still. Now, I've done so many reviews and comparisons with this phone throughout my life, and this has been one of those phones that still is performance heavy once you load into the app. Sometimes when you're maneuvering around the UI and everything, it can be a little glitchy, like with these gestures and everything. It's not necessarily the smoothest experience. It does look a little choppy, but it's totally okay. And I think with the One UI 2, with it bringing gesture-based design, I actually like this a lot. But the problem is it's not getting any more software updates, and that's kind of the sadder aspect of it. But once you load up these applications and once it's all fully loaded and everything, it's a pretty smooth experience from what I can tell. So ultimately what I can tell you is the Note 9 is still a very legendary phone. The build quality is great. It's not super thick, and with that battery, 4,000 milliamp hour battery too, I mean, it's really an all-in-one package. It's not perfect anymore, but it kind of was perfect at one time. I even, with this setup I have now, this is really not an ugly setup. Even though One UI is not my favorite software out there, it doesn't look like a bad phone, and I still think it looks pretty legendary in my opinion. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.